Hearing Meng Lu's words, Chen Yuan smiled and replied, "You do not look the part. You look like a 30-year-old woman trying desperately to act young." Meng Lu immediately protested, "Hey, I am only 26 years old." Chen Yuan gave a mischievous grin and retorted, "If we round up, is that not 30? Meng Lu raised 2 fingers in rebuttal. HMPH. "If we round it, I am 20. She then continued, "But truly, the company's improvement measures are proceeding well. Service awareness at the branches has increased significantly. Furthermore, customer care has been very proactive. Only the effectiveness of online customer attraction remains unclear. Perhaps because the short videos were released only recently, the results are not yet visible." After hearing the report, Chen Yuan contemplated. The execution capabilities of the stores were excellent, so the improvement measures were bound to show results. After all, using that fraud as an example to kill the chicken and warn the monkeys would inevitably yield a significant impact. Seeing Chen Yuan's pensive expression, Meng Lu smiled proudly and asked, "Well, does this consultant deserve a reward?" Chen Yuan replied, "A reward is certainly due." Right at that moment, his phone rang. Chen Yuan answered, saying, "Manager Yu Hei, go ahead." Yu Jifeng began his report. "President Chen, the investigation you requested has yielded results. The Foreign Affairs Department is in contact with another health examination unit in Xincheng. There is also a party from Wise House City providing a quote. Currently, we only know of these 2. President Chen, we must take action, or this order will likely fall through." Hearing this, Chen Yuan thought to himself, "Old Shu, that bastard is truly a traitor who bites the hand that feeds him if there." He then gave his instructions. "Do this, pretend you know nothing, and maintain normal contact. Afterward, send me the documents regarding those 2 health examination units." Yu Jinfeng obeyed, saying, "Yes, President Chen." Chen Yuan added, "That will be all for now," and hung up. Noticing Chen Yuan's troubled expression, Meng Lu turned and asked, "Husband, what is wrong?" Chen Yuan replied, "An old man wants to burn the bridge after crossing it." Surprised, Meng Lu asked, "Which old man?" Chen Yuan replied, "You would not know him. This concerns the health examination center. He overestimates his own strength. Does he truly think I am a soft persimmon that can be easily bullied?" Hearing this, Meng Lu clenched her fists and said, "Husband, take her down." Chen Yuan replied, "He is not a woman." Meng Lu immediately corrected herself. "And crush him." Chen Yuan was left utterly speechless by her intensity. At the same time, Chen Xuan and Xin Yu had entered the car. 2 luxury vehicles were parked side by side, one belonging to Meng Lu and the other to Chen Na's group. Chen Yuan felt a bit conflicted, thinking to himself, "This is awkward. Which car should I take?" Right then, Chen Na spoke up. "Chen Yuan, why don't you drive Lulu's 911 back? I know you haven't driven in a while. You likely want to get behind the wheel to satisfy your craving." Seeing the path already cleared for him, Chen Yuan casually replied, "That works." Chen Na stepped into the car and waved, saying, "We will be going first, then. Bye." Once they had left, Chen Yuan turned and saw Meng Lu's pouting expression. He asked, "What is it? Why do you look so unhappy?" Meng Lu replied, "It is nothing." In her heart, she thought resentfully. Chen Yuan had not even spoken yet. Why did Chen Na have to interfere? Is she trying to flaunt her status as the primary wife? She then walked to the car and asked, "Husband, aren't you driving?" Chen Yuan dialed a number and replied, "You drive. I still have some business to handle." As soon as the other party answered, he said, "Hello, consultant. Where are you?" Li Xiao, holding a book as thick as an 18-generation genealogy, answered the phone. "I am at the office, preparing for a class." "What is it?" Chen Yuan asked. "Will the principal be attending the upcoming meeting?" Li Xiao replied, "Ah, the principal will be there." Chen Yuan then said, "In that case, do this." As soon as the call ended, Meng Lu turned and said, "You are up to your tricks again, husband. Whenever you wear that expression, I know you are about to pull some wicked scheme." Surprised, Chen Yuan asked, "Huh? What expression?" Meng Lu replied, "Look for yourself. The corners of your mouth are curling upward." Chen Yuan paid no mind to her words. His gaze sharpened as he thought to himself, "Since that old man, Shu Shushai, failed to keep his promise, there is no need for me to show him any further respect." Time passed quickly, and half an hour later, in the grand conference hall of the Foreign Affairs University, a woman gestured and said, "Everyone must remain firm in the mindset that safety comes first. Supervise and notify the students and their parents to ensure they have a productive, mature, safe, and meaningful break. Next, I invite Principal Yang Huangjin to come forward and give his instructions and remarks." This man was indeed Yang Huangjin, the principal of the Foreign Affairs University. He pulled the microphone toward him and began his speech. "Safety is no small matter. Our responsibility is greater than the heavens. The summer break has always been." Just as he said this, Li Xiao suddenly stood up. Lu Xiaojiang saw this and asked, "Ms. Lai, what are you doing?" While dialing Chen Yuan's number, Li Xiao turned and replied, "I need to take a call." Old Lu spoke again. What phone call is so important that it must be answered now? Principal Yang is currently speaking. Sit down at once. Ignoring his words, Li Xiao walked toward the door and intentionally spoke in a loud voice. Hello, Chen Yuan, go ahead. Oh, no need for that. On behalf of the school, I should thank you for your generous investment of 10,000. Without your contribution, this entrepreneurship center would not exist. Overhearing the conversation, old Yang turned to old Shu and asked, Is the Chen Yuan that instructor mentioned the same student who invested in the entrepreneurship center? He replied with a warm smile. Indeed, it is him. The woman from earlier added, Once the summer break ends, Chen Yuan will enter his 4th year. It is said he profited greatly from the foreign trade and financial markets, subsequently investing 10 million to give back to the school. He holds many honorary achievements. Vice Principal Xu is more familiar with these matters than I. Old Yang laughed with satisfaction and said, Every year, many students graduate from our institution, but few return to provide such support. For a student of this caliber, we must assist him in maturing quickly, so that our University of Foreign Affairs may claim another towering figure in the business world. At this moment, Li Xiao returned. Wearing an expression of feigned difficulty, she said, Honorable leaders, please forgive me. The student encountered an emergency, and I had to answer the call before I could report. I am truly sorry. Old Yang waved his hand dismissively and replied, If a student seeks you out immediately during a crisis, it proves you are highly esteemed in their hearts. Seeing student Chen achieve such success, I am certain a portion of the credit belongs to your guidance. Li Xiao returned to her seat and said, In truth, I have done very little, merely fulfilling my duty as a teacher. He is truly exceptional. Beyond investing in the entrepreneurship center, he recently acquired a health management company. Upon hearing this, old Yang asked in surprise, Student Chen has even established his own company? Li Xiao replied, I heard from Chen Yuan that the company's business scope is not yet broad and is in dire need of expansion. He mentioned he owes much to the support of Vice Principal Xu, who introduced the school's health examination project to him. In her heart, she thought, bypassing ranks to speak with the highest leadership is so tense. It is easy to offend Vice Principal Xu this way, but I have no choice. For Chen Yuan's sake, I must take this risk. Hearing these words, old Shu thought with irritation, What thanks? I only mentioned the project's existence. I never promised it to him. Old Yang then turned to old Shu and said, Most graduates from our university work in finance and foreign trade. Few choose the path of entrepreneurship. And even then, the failure rate is high. If student Chen's company has no legal issues, the school should prioritize allocating resources to him. Old Shu gave a forced smile and replied, The principal is correct. That is one of the reasons I introduced this project to Chen Yuan. The school cannot offer him much help, so this health examination project can be considered a way to support his endeavors. Old Yang continued, However, the capacity assessment must still follow standard procedures, and competition must adhere to the principles of fairness. Objectively, we cannot open the back door just because student Chen is one of our own. Old Shu smiled and replied, I understand, Principal Yang. He thought to himself, Old Yang speaks of fairness and avoiding the back door, but in reality he has already tacitly handed this project to Chen Yuan. This Chen Yuan is truly capable. I didn't expect him to use Ms. Li to bypass me and speak directly to old Yang. His gaze shifted toward Li Xiao. But this Li Xiao is truly foolish. Are you a teacher of this school, or a spokesperson for that boy Chen Yuan? You are nothing but a mole within the faculty. On the other side, Lu Zhaojiang shared similar thoughts. Looking at Li Xiao, he mused, Old Shu has reaped immense profits from that position, while we haven't even tasted a drop of soup. This time, he has finally struck a hard nail, and Chen Yuan is indeed bold. Is he not afraid of offending Old Shu? Time flew by until 9 in the evening. Li Xiao entered her home while speaking to Chen Yuan on the phone. Thank you, Ms. Li. I shall treat you to a meal another day. Hearing this, Li Xiao said, I was frightened to death. You have no idea. During the meeting, I didn't even dare to look at Vice Principal Shu. Chen Yuan replied, Just act as if you know nothing. In their eyes, I am the one who used you, so they will direct all their resentment toward me. Li Xiao's eyes showed a hint of sadness as she asked, Chen Yuan, were you truly just using me? Chen Yuan replied, How can you call it using? This was Miss Li He helping me out of care for her student. Furthermore, I am your student. We are in the same boat. We shall share in the glory and endure the shame together. Hearing this, Li Xiao's cheeks flushed as she asked, Chen Yuan, am I only your student? Chen Yuan replied, That depends on your own intentions. Li Xiao began to speak, but she stopped herself, thinking she was about to say, But you haven't confessed to me yet. However, Chen Yuan seemed to have confessed long ago. She just hadn't agreed at the time, she then said. But you haven't come to see me in a long time. Chen Yuan smiled and said, I will come to see you tomorrow. Are you free? Li Xiao replied, I will wait for your word. As soon as the call ended, Meng Lu walked out wrapped in a bath towel and asked, Husband, who are you meeting tomorrow? Chen Yuan replied, I am going to assist one of my teachers. Meng Lu replied, Very well then. She climbed onto Chen Yuan, her face full of anticipation. Husband, I missed you dearly. Do you know how I have lived this past week? Chen Yuan's hand. Following Chen Yuan's question, Meng Lu took out her phone, her voice filled with grievance as she replied, I was looking at your photos. Do you know how desolate it felt to spend every night merely gazing at your picture? Chen Yuan asked curiously. When was this taken? Meng Lu handed the phone to him, replying, While you were exercising, while you were sleeping, and even while you were bathing. After viewing them, Chen Yuan spoke with a wicked grin. These are quite well captured. They are worthy of a male model's magazine cover. Have you been using these photos to satisfy your desires all week? Meng Lu blushed and replied, You must not mock me. Chen Yuan pressed his face against Meng Lu's enhanced chest to comfort her. I have returned. There is no longer a need to look at mere images. What do you intend to do next? Meng Lu replied with a trembling voice. I do not know. Husband, what do you wish to do? Seeing this, Chen Yuan gently stroked her cheek with his finger and asked, Why are you trembling? Meng Lu replied, I am not. Chen Yuan firmly grasped her hips and urged her on. You clearly are. Speak your mind. With a dazed expression, Meng Lu said, Husband, I fear the pain. I am afraid of exhausting too much of my water magic. Can we take things step by step today? Chen Yuan buried his face in her soft peaks, nuzzling against her as he replied, Very well. I shall heed your wish. We will take it slowly, bit by bit. Seeing this, Meng Lu cried out in a panic. Husband, that tickles. Hearing this, Chen Yuan corrected her in a low voice. Watch your tone. What should you call me now? Meng Lu obediently replied, Daddy. And just like that, the cobwebs that had gathered for a week were finally swept away. Time passed swiftly until the following morning. After a night of release, Chen Yuan returned from his workout. Meng Lu handed him a towel and said, Husband, you have returned from your training? Come quickly, wipe your face and prepare for the meal. Chen Yuan accepted the towel and asked with concern, Are you feeling any better? He thought to himself that although he had been very careful last night, Coach Liu eventually admitted she could no longer endure. Meng Lu blushed and replied, I feel much better. My constitution is strong, so I recover quickly. Chen Yuan handed the towel back and said, Good, in the next 2 days, you can go select a house. The budget is 3 million. Hearing these words, Meng Lu could hardly believe her ears, her eyes widening in shock. Chen Yuan continued, Choose any house you desire, provided it is not in the same residential complex as Nana. Overjoyed, Meng Lu lunged forward to embrace Chen Yuan, showering him with kisses. Oh husband, thank you my beloved husband. Chen Yuan laughed and said, I have just washed my face. Do not soil it again. As soon as he finished speaking, Meng Lu released him and dialed Qian's number. Qian, are you free? Come house hunting with me. Chen Yuan said he would buy me a 3 million yuan home. Qian asked in astonishment. What? Chen Yuan? She thought to herself. It was one thing for Na to have a house, but now even Lulu has one. And both were bought by Chen Yuan. All of you have reached the shore of stability, while I am the only one left to drown? Why must you tell me such things? Why me? Meanwhile, Chen Yuan calculated his gains while changing his clothes. Thanks to the system's triple cashback feature, purchasing a house for Coach Liu would return 6 million to him. If her favorability increased by another 3 points during this time, he could even receive 12 million. If he continued this pace with each NPC, earning hundreds of millions, or even billions, would be child's play. His gaze shifted toward Meng Lu, who was excitedly chatting on the phone. Unless her favorability reached 90, he would never purchase high-value items worth millions. Even if it exceeded 90, further observation would be required. After finishing her call, Meng Lu returned, her voice brimming with excitement. Husband, I am so happy! Chen Yuan said. Go and select your house. I shall drop by the company shortly to attend to some matters. Meng Lu replied obediently. Yes, of course. An hour passed quickly. At Jingfu Health Company, Chen Yuan had arrived at his office. An employee presented a folder, saying, President Chen, this is the summary of last week's work from the Human Resources Department. We have also implemented several changes regarding recruitment and employee training. The focus lies on 2 aspects, personnel recruitment and employee training. Hearing this, Chen Yuan asked, Stricter recruitment? Have you considered the difficulty of finding qualified candidates? Furthermore, if employees are required to undergo training so frequently, will it not interfere with their working hours? The employee replied with some trepidation. Regarding recruitment, I plan to increase the compensation package, though the specific budget proposal is not yet finalized. Training sessions are generally limited to 1 hour and utilize the employees' free time, so they will not disrupt normal operations. Chen Yuan said with satisfaction, well done, you may leave. His eyes drifted toward the door, noticing people lingering outside. He asked, Why are there so many people gathered? Did they not confirm their reports beforehand? The employee replied, Because you were away for a week, they had no chance to report to you in person. Now that they have heard of your return, everyone wishes to receive your instructions. Upon hearing this, Chen Yuan said, Then convene a meeting. Gather all management levels in the grand conference room. The employee replied, Understood, President Chen. Once the person departed, Chen Yuan began to calculate, muttering to himself. This is the disadvantage of lacking an administrative assistant. The little secretary's rotation through the various departments is nearly complete. It is time for her to officially take office. Time passed swiftly, until the conclusion of the meeting. As they stepped out, Yu Jifeng followed and said, President Chen, Vice Principal Xu contacted me today, requesting a specific quote and details. Should we calculate based on the market price, or offer an appropriate discount? Chen Yuan replied. Simply provide the same quote as the other two parties. If old Xu wishes to take a commission, we shall keep him dangling. But the initiative must remain firmly in our grasp. Yu Jifeng replied, I understand what must be done. I will make preparations and handle the external affairs. He thought to himself. It seems my previous worries were unnecessary. I did not expect President Chen to have such powerful backing. As he was about to leave, Chen Yuan added, Manager Yu, if you see Fu Yingzi, tell her to come here for a moment. Yu Jifeng obeyed. Yes, President Chen. A moment later, Yingzi entered and asked, Boss, did you call for me? Chen Yuan looked her over and remarked, Not bad. Your sense of style is becoming increasingly refined. Hearing this, Yingzi asked with a suspicious look, What is it, boss? I feel your praise carries some ulterior motive. Chen Yuan replied helplessly, Trisk, am I that kind of person? Your friends have all left for summer break. Do you not intend to request leave to return home? Yingzi patted her chest and replied, While the company is undergoing restructuring and implementing improvements, and you are not here, I am your vital eyes and ears within the company. How could I think of leisure? I must keep a close watch. Boss, do not tell me you are testing my loyalty. Chen Yuan replied, You always enjoy overanalyzing things. I was merely showing some concern. He then asked, How is the job rotation proceeding? How many departments are left? Yingzi answered, Only the finance department remains. It should take about a week and a half. Chen Yuan said with satisfaction, Good, I also intended for you to rotate through several branch stores. Furthermore, you need to familiarize yourself with my work here to prepare for the future. Yingzi's eyes widened in surprise. Huh? What work is there here? Seeing her expression, Chen Yuan asked helplessly, Have you forgotten your original profession? A secretary. Well, do you no longer intend to work for me? Several picturesque scenes immediately flashed through Yingzi's mind, born of her own imagination. Her cheeks flushed red, and she let out an involuntary gasp, thinking to herself, What did Chen Yuan just say? What does he mean by, no longer working for him? His tone and manner just now. It is difficult not to let one's mind wander in that direction. She hurriedly waved her hands and replied, No, it is not that. I simply did not expect it. I thought you would assign me to a different position. Chen Yuan replied, A secretary is the person closest to the boss. As long as you perform well, there will be many opportunities in the future. Jingfu is only the beginning, Yingzi said. Understood, boss. If there is nothing else, I shall return to my duties. Please call me if you require anything. Chen Yuan nodded and replied, Go then. He thought to himself, The personal assistant is secured. The administrative secretary is ready. Quote, My core team is finally taking shape. The future is truly worth anticipating. Right then, Meng Lu entered and said, Husband, I viewed 2 real estate projects this morning. Both were quite good, actually, so I plan to see one more this afternoon. Chen Yuan replied, Very well. I have been short on time lately. Once you find a place you like, send me the account details, and I will transfer the funds. Hearing this, Meng Lu approached and embraced him, planting a kiss on his cheek. Thank you, beloved husband. Seeing this, Chen Yuan stopped her, saying, That is enough. This is the company. Maintain some decorum. He took out his phone and called Lin Zhao. Instructor, is Yang Huangjin at the university? On the other end, Lin Zhao replied, He is here. Chen Yuan said, Give him word that I will drop by to visit him this afternoon. Li Xiao replied, Understood. After hanging up, Chen Yuan turned to Meng Lu. Help me prepare 2 cartons of Huo Tianxia and 2 bottles of Fei Tian later. I need to visit someone. Meng Lu replied, No problem. It is just.